Greetings from our channel again.
The renowned Hollywood cowboy performer Dale Robertson was well known for his classic roles and tough appearance, but he also had a troubled and secretive life.
Having overcome numerous obstacles to become a movie star, Dale was born into poverty.
Behind the glamour and sparkle, however, were quiet personal issues ranging from addiction to bereavement.
What actually occurred in Dale Robertson's life?
In today's essay, Early Life, we'll reveal the little-known tales of this cowboy hero. In a modest home tucked away in Harrah, Oklahoma's countryside. Although Harrah was a peaceful, tight-knit village less than 50 kilometers from Oklahoma City, the Robertson family's life was everything but simple. Dale, the youngest of three brothers, was raised during the Great Depression, a period of poverty that affected almost all American working-class families. When he was just 4 years old and his parents, Melvin and Varel Robertson, decided to have a divorce. Varel, a strong but burdened mother, was left to raise 3 boys in poverty as a result of this choice. To put food on the table and make sure her sons could finish their school, she took on a variety of professions. Dale and his brothers, however, soon realized the difficulties facing the family and began lending a hand by selling their mother's homemade pies to nearby residents. This wasn't just about making money for Dale. It was his first lesson in love and resiliency. But this was just the start of the difficulties the young kid would encounter. Dale was ensnared in a quiet nightmare at the age of 13, while his peers were daydreaming about the future. He realized he had lost all of his vision and most of his hearing when he woke up one morning in agony and panic.
"Mom!
There's nothing to see," he screamed in desperation. Suddenly Dale was plunged into a world of blindness and deafness, confronting a thick darkness and absolute isolation, a feeling no child should have to endure. For an entire year, he lived in his own world of silence and darkness. Doctors were unable to pinpoint the cause of this mysterious illness. Some speculated that he might have contracted an infection from swimming in a nearby creek, but no one had a clear answer. As the days passed, the Robertson family's hope faded little by little, but then a miracle happened.
After a year of battling in darkness, Dale's vision and hearing slowly returned.
His family could hardly believe this miraculous turn of events, and Dale, rising from the depths of despair, embarked on a journey to rediscover himself and his future. This extraordinary recovery not only restored his sight, but also ignited within him a fire of resilience and the belief that he could overcome any challenge life threw at him. However, hardships never truly left Dale. During the Great Depression, the Robertson family continued to struggle for survival, and Dale never hesitated to take on hard labor to help his mother.
But he didn't stop at simple tasks. Dale made the life-changing decision to step into the boxing ring.
At a young age, he began a professional boxing career, not out of passion, but out of duty to his family.
The relentless punches from opponents, the knockdowns, and the broken nose didn't deter him.
"My nose got broken, but that didn't matter.
I just needed it set back and got on with the fight," Dale once shared with steadfast determination.
Early career. After the difficult years of his childhood, Dale Robertson's life continued to change as he entered adulthood, just as World War II broke out. In 1942, still very young, Dale and his 2 older brothers decided to enlist in the U.S. Army, driven by a strong sense of patriotism. He was assigned to the tank forces, and after completing training at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, he was deployed to the fierce battlefields of Europe. In 1945, during one of the battles near the Czechoslovakian border, Dale faced an event that nearly cost him his life. While commanding his unit, his tank was hit by German artillery, leaving him severely wounded in the leg and knee. But instead of retreating, Dale bandaged his wounds and continued fighting, leading his team through intense gunfire. His bravery earned him the Silver Star and Purple Heart, marking him as a truly resilient soldier. When the war ended in 1945, Dale returned from the battlefield with no intention of becoming a movie star. To him, Hollywood was a distant world.
However, a chance event changed everything.
While waiting for his discharge in San Luis Obispo, California, Dale decided to take a photo to send to his mother as a keepsake. He stopped by a photo studio in Los Angeles in 1946, where the shop owner decided to hang Dale's photo in the storefront.
No one could have predicted that this image, showcasing Dale's rugged look and determined eyes, would catch the attention of major filmmakers in Hollywood. Within just a few weeks, Dale began receiving letters from talent agencies, inviting him to join the film industry, as he had never intended to enter this field. However, a piece of advice from his friend, Will Rogers Jr. changed everything. "Never learn acting professionally," Rogers said. "Let the audience see the real you, not something polished." Feeling that this might be an opportunity to explore a new path, Dale decided to give acting a try without undergoing any formal training. In 1948, Dale made his first appearance, The Boy with the Green Hair. Though it was only a minor role, it marked the beginning of a career Dale had never imagined. Just a year later, in 1949, he portrayed Jesse James in Fighting Man of the Plains, a role that, though small, garnered significant attention. From a chance photograph, Dale had stepped into the world of Hollywood in a way no one could have predicted, becoming one of the most iconic figures of the Western film genre. Acting career and widespread success. With his rugged charm and commanding presence, Dale Robertson quickly became a star of Western films, a genre immensely popular during the 1950s and 1960s. Without any formal acting training, Dale infused his natural personality into every role he played, making each character his own, honest, strong, and uncompromising. "I never tried to act. I just let the character fit who I truly am," Dale once said. His distinct acting style set him apart from his contemporaries. Dale Robertson rose to prominence in Hollywood thanks to his portrayal of Jim Hardy in the 1957 to 1962 television series Tales of Wells Fargo. With hundreds of episodes over the course of 5 years, the program became ingrained in American culture at the time. Dale's subtle yet impactful portrayal helped spectators remember a traditional Western hero who maintained law and order. He didn't require acting classes. Every moment showcases his real-life grit and dedication, which he developed during his military duty. Every gesture he made and every sentence he spoke had depth and authenticity that the audience could sense. Dale cemented his reputation after Tales of Wells Fargo's triumph by playing Ben Calhoun in Iron Horse, 1966 to 1968. The episode focused on a man who, after winning an incomplete railroad line in a poker game, had to overcome several obstacles to finish it. With this character, Dale once more demonstrated fortitude and tenacity. He not only kept up his fame but also increased his television influence with Iron Horse, demonstrating that he was not only a movie star but also a timeless representation of American television. Dale Robertson established a reputation for himself on the big screen in addition to television. Sitting Bull, 1954, and Golden Girl, 1951, starring Mitzi Gaynor, gave Dale the chance to collaborate with some of the most well-known women of the era. In contrast to his traditional cowboy roles, Dale's portrayal of a man in Golden Girl needed more nuance and tenderness because he was both strong and intensely passionate. He was able to showcase his range as an actor in this movie, which attracted the interest of critics. Dale then demonstrated his versatility as an actor in Sitting Bull, 1954, where he portrayed a guardian of his people amid hostilities between Native Americans and the U.S. troops. In addition to being an action movie, this picture told a profoundly sad and significant historical tale, which further cemented Dale's standing as one of the greatest actors of his time. Dale also portrayed a risky but crafty gambler in The Gambler of Natchez, 1954, enthralling viewers with his enigmatic appeal and narrative mastery. He was able to expand his influence outside of the Western genre with this film, demonstrating his adaptability to a variety of tasks. In addition to his iconic performances, Dale Robertson's career made a lasting mark because of the genuineness he infused into each role. Dale's natural manner and unique personality always made a lasting impression, whether he was on TV or in movies. His achievement was a result of both his skill and the fortitude he had developed over the years. This was evident in all of his roles. Personal life: Dale Robertson had a hectic personal life while having a lucrative profession in film. His 4 turbulent marriages demonstrated that he seemed to be plagued by emotional upheaval throughout his life. Despite his reputation for being strong and composed, Dale had trouble maintaining consistency in his relationships. On May 19, Dale married Frederica Jacqueline Wilson for the first time. 1951, in the early years of his career, when he was starting to become well known for his cowboy parts, Frederica was not just his wife but also his friend. Their joy, however, was fleeting. Tensions and disputes started to arise after 5 years of marriage, mostly as a result of Dale's hectic schedule in the movie business. The couple's 1956 divorce decision was not without suffering. Rochelle, their only daughter, was given to Frederica. Interestingly, Dale married actress Mary Murphy just 1 day after he finalized his divorce from Frederica. The two had met while filming Sitting Bull in 1954 while traveling to Mexico. Their marriage was even shorter-lived than their love, which seemed to last. Mary sought for annulment only 3 months later, pointing out that Dale already had a daughter from his previous marriage and was reluctant to conceive anymore. In addition to leaving emotional wounds, their acrimonious split at the time garnered a lot of media attention. Dale's relationships did not, however, always end in tragedy. He met the kind and gentle Lula Mae Maxey during a horse racing event in 1959. Lula was neither a public figure nor an actress, in contrast to his other relationships. She was from Houston and worked as a telephone operator. Dale felt a sense of peace that he had never had before because of Lula's simplicity and serene manner. A new chapter of happiness in Dale's life began on November 13, 1959, when they were married. After the agony of his previous marriages, he finally found the stability and peace he had long desired in his family life with Lula and his adopted daughter, Rebel Lee Robertson. Throughout their 17-year marriage, Dale and Lula maintained a healthy family life and continued to excel on television. But by 1977, their relationship was starting to suffer from the strain and stress of his life and work. The longest and most satisfying marriage Dale had ever known came to an end when they ultimately made the decision to get a divorce, despite their best efforts to be happy. Dale Robertson had to fight a silent foe in addition to romantic setbacks following the upheaval in his relationships. Alcohol. Alcohol became Dale's unwanted companion for many years as a result of the stress from his acting profession and the setbacks in his personal life. Dale, like many celebrities, resorted to drinking as a way to cope with his mental distress, but this habit eventually started to ruin his life and career. Dale suffered a serious setback to his reputation when he was caught for driving under the influence in 1958, at the height of his success. He lost the trust of people around him as a result of his inebriated public behavior, which also hurt his reputation. Alcohol became the cause of a number of unavoidable issues as Dale's life went out of hand. It seemed like everything was falling apart under him, from strained family ties to legal troubles. In addition to his outward anguish, Dale was experiencing internal disarray and a loss of the principles and sense of direction he had formerly maintained. He started to see that if he didn't change, he may lose everything: his family, his job, and perhaps his life. Dale's life underwent a significant sea change at this moment since he had to face the grave repercussions that alcohol had caused. Dale concluded that this was no longer how he could live. He now fought his internal conflict with the same tenacity and fortitude that had previously enabled him to succeed on screen. Dale's Christian religion gave him the spiritual fortitude he needed to kick his addiction and confront the suffering and harm that alcohol had inflicted. He progressively rebuilt his life by enrolling in addiction recovery programs. In addition to beating alcoholism, Dale's rebirth was finding who he really was. He helped those who were in similar situations when he overcame his addiction and became a big supporter of rehabilitation programs. Dale became a symbol of perseverance and the strength of will rather than a lost star. Despite his declining health and devastating losses, Dale Robertson came out of life's storms, from broken marriages to his fight with alcoholism, with a newfound will to live. But those mental struggles were insufficient to protect him from the passage of time and the severe injuries he had sustained. Dale's physique progressively weakened over time, much like the scars on his soul, especially after the war's long-lasting wounds and the protracted stress of his personal hardships. Dale was not as healthy as he had been. Life's struggles and the long years of battling his own demons had left their mark. The biggest blow of his life came in 1981 when his daughter Rochelle died of complications from diabetes at the age of 21. In addition to being an emotional setback, losing Rochelle was a terrible incident that severely damaged Dale. Even though he had persevered through innumerable hardships, he was never able to entirely recover from the loss of his daughter. The loss of Rochelle left Dale feeling incredibly alone and sad because she had been his pride and a ray of hope in his life. Soon later, Dale had to contend with his own body as an additional foe. His health started to decline after years of dealing with the scars from the battle and the ensuing psychological strain. He suffered a sudden stroke that left him for a long time unable to move or communicate. With his body no longer obeying the orders of his resolute will, his already difficult life became much more challenging. Dale's body had begun to turn against him, and he had to accept that not every war could be won. This was not the end, however. Dale received a lung cancer diagnosis in 2013. The fatal illness didn't end there. It swiftly spread to his brain, lymph nodes, and liver. Dale had fought a lot of fights in his life, but he knew this one would be his last. The life of a man who had been a cherished figure in the hearts of his followers as well as a film legend came to an end on February 27, 2013, after a period of battling illness. Dale's last years were particularly difficult due to his deteriorating health and the anguish of losing family members. But in spite of all the setbacks and losses, Dale Robertson continued to be a representation of tenacity. Dale's life was full of highs and lows, but it was also one that was distinguished by dignity. He was a young child who overcame illness to pursue a boxing career, a soldier returning from war, and a Hollywood star dealing with addiction and heartache. Even though he is no longer with us, his legacy lives on in the hearts of people who followed the path of a real movie star. Last year's an enduring legacy. Dale Robertson made the decision to leave the limelight of Hollywood and return to a simpler life on his ranch in Oklahoma after facing numerous obstacles in his life, such as struggles with addiction, illness, and the death of loved ones. Since he was a little child, this ranch had been his ideal home, a tranquil setting away from the bustle and demands of celebrity. The ranch was more to Dale than a place to keep horses. After his life's many ups and downs, he found equilibrium there. Dale led a tranquil, contented existence at Haymaker Ranch. He had loved horses since he was a little boy, and he devoted much of his time to taking care of them. Dale, who had a strong love for the country and ranching, established a tranquil life with his family, particularly his wife Susan, as well as Rebel Lee Robertson, his adopted daughter. He was able to temporarily forget the storms of his past since life on the ranch provided him with the peace he had so desperately sought. Dale is no longer with us, but his legacy endures in the hearts of his followers. In addition to being a well-known actor who portrayed tough, attractive cowboys on screen, he was also a representation of bravery and tenacity in both real life and cinema. Dale made a lasting impact on film history, especially in the Western genre, with his more than 60 films and 400 television shows. Iron Horse, Sitting Bull, and Tales of Wells Fargo cemented his reputation as a genuine Western hero. Dale's humanitarian endeavors and compassion left a lasting impression in addition to his contributions to the arts. In order to aid impoverished youngsters, he established the Dale Robertson Ranch, allowing them to gain leadership experience and a taste of country living. Dale also made contributions to the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum, demonstrating his strong commitment to conserving Western American culture. The impact of Dale Robertson goes beyond his legendary parts and unforgettable movies. He has made a lasting impression with his generosity, commitment to assisting others, and consistent contributions to his community. He experienced many highs and lows in his life, yet he never wavered in his resolve or his intense love for life. Dale Robertson was ultimately more than just a performer. His legacy will live on in his fans' memories as a testament to his tenacity, kindness, and love of life. Dale Robertson, who starred in more than 60 movies and hundreds of TV shows, was more than just an actor, he was a living representation of the American West. He made a lasting impression on film history, and generations to come will remember his tale. Please feel free to express your opinions about the movies that Dale Robertson starred in if you're a fan. For more engrossing tales about legendary stars, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you watching.